Hey, Ryan, to get the offense back to where it was when it kind of was at its peak this season, what do you think needs to happen?
Well, obviously, we got to get a rhythm early in the football game. Weren't capable of that in the SEC championship. Besides taking a knee at the end of the half, I think we ran 19 plays in the first half of that game. 9 of them were runs. We just weren't effective at all. So it starts with just moving the chains on third down. I think simply put, those are the things that we did really well early in the season and at the midpoint when we were on that 4-game run against some tough opponents. And the consistency in that is we're more than capable. We got great kids that play hard, smart, and they're more than capable of getting that done. So excited about the challenge.
Jumping over to the front left, Colin.
Hey Ryan, what have you seen, I guess, from Jam over the past 2 weeks? Is he, with him being fully healthy, or how have you seen more of a fire under him as he, in practice? Or
Yeah, Jam's always got a fire, but yeah, he looks great. He's out there running around today. Did an awesome job. Feel like he'll be full go, ready to contribute and help us get rolling again.
Going back to the front right, let's go to Tony next.
With the struggles in the running game, how important is it to take deep shots early in the game, maybe to open up the defense a little bit, just to kind of maybe announce your presence there? Is that a strategy you kind of use?
I've used them all. I've used throw the deep ball early and run later, run early, throw the deep ball after. So I think some of it obviously comes down to the whatever schematic advantage you think you have against a particular defense and what they give you early in the game or don't give you. And I think sometimes there's a feel out process during the game and you can see what you think you have success with. But, for us, whether the ball's going down the field or running the football, we got to be more consistent with the ball moving forward, period. Whether it's an explosive play, 5-yard run, we got to get first downs and be consistent on early downs.
Question from Joe back in the middle right there.
Coach, what does Oklahoma's defense do so well that creates their havoc plays, turnover, sacks, and what is the key to avoiding that?
Good question. They do a great job of creating confusion. That's what they're good at. Their guys are, well executed. You can see that they've been in the system a couple years now, have kind of moved forward a little bit compared to even last year. So I think it's just really trying to get your eyes in the wrong spots. Their guys play physical and fast, so they're confident in the scheme that they run, which I think is really, really important in any scheme. And they certainly do that. So they play with an edge that, you got to make sure that you're matching their intensity and go above it.
Question from Katie, right in front there.
Before the SEC championship, talking to Kalen about a rematch. It had been a while since y'all had played Georgia, so he talked about it being different teams. It's only been a month since that Oklahoma game.
Yeah.
Is there kind of a benefit to that y'all moved the ball pretty well against a really good defense and things y'all can draw back on from that previous matchup?
Yeah, I think I heard Coach Venables say it before. I think we have tendencies, they have tendencies. We have things that we do well, they have things that they do well, and we just got to pit those things as we see fit. And I think as far as timing, the closer proximity to the last game, I don't know if that really gives you an advantage or not. I certainly think it probably makes the picture potentially a little clearer than maybe earlier in the season. And then certainly personnel-wise, I think you know probably what's going on at this point.
Going to the far right side to Charlie.
Yeah, Coach, just what have you seen from Josh Cuevas in practice in terms of what he's been able to do, and how big would it be to get him back for your offense?
Yeah, Josh has been a huge part of the offense all year. So, for us, just, in the run game, pass game, everything he can do is critical. We've missed him, his leadership, and his presence on the field for sure. And just playmaking ability, catching the ball, breaking tackles after he gets the football, which he certainly did, last time against Oklahoma. So he's been looking great, and we're excited to have him back out there.
Got a question in the back row on the far left there.
Hey, Coach, last time against Oklahoma, you said you were going to change up the offensive signs and signals. Did you ever feel like Venables kind of knew what was coming or picked up on any of the signs that were new in the first meeting?
I think that those guys that are, working signals eventually get them during the course of a football game. So you have to have measures, throughout the game to try to combat that. And I thought, there was times where you certainly thought there were some of those things that they had gotten. I didn't feel like it affected anything or got us to the point where, we weren't making a play because of that. And we huddle quite a bit as well. So some of that's, kind of irrelevant.
Go to Will on the left side.
Coach, what do you want to see from the offensive line in this matchup against Oklahoma? Gave up 4 sacks last time, whether that be personnel-wise or just in general, whether it's run game, pass game, and all that.
Elite communication. the best communication they've had all year. That's what it's going to come down to, because in the first game, they did a good job of that. We had 2 negative yardage runs, which were actually gains of 0. We talked about that before. The sacks came on lack of communication. And, one of them really was probably Ty could have got out of his hand. But, ultimately for us, it's just going to come down to those guys communicating and everybody being on the same call. If half the line's on one call, the other half's not, that's where your problems happen. That's where sacks and problems in the A and B gap happen. So just elite communication.
Got a question from Emily Grace, second row.
Hey, Coach, we've heard about how this added rest and time to reset, get everyone's bodies right, has paid off from Ty. What are you seeing that's indicating that the team is heading in the right direction as they go into OU this weekend?
I think anytime you're in a game prep and you feel like the attention to detail, the execution in practice is continuing to climb, you're feeling pretty confident the guys are getting in the right spot to play. And certainly this week, I've seen that every single day, including today at practice, where the level of detail and, just how hard they're working out there, honestly, like the actual output, you can tell they're ready to get back on the field for Friday.
Got a follow-up from Nick on the front right.
Yeah, you found ways to get Ryan Williams involved with some short stuff and use his athleticism. In lieu of giving us the game plan, how can you build on what he did in the SEC championship game?
I mean, I think all the guys that are, touch players that you can get the ball in space. Certainly Ryan is that kind of guy. Now you got to have all the compliments to go with it. He certainly is a guy that can hurt you down the field as well. And those are the things you got to try to, paint the picture for the defense of what you want to do and where you're going to get the football. But Ryan can get it now at the line of scrimmage, in the backfield. He can get it down the field on a post route. So those are the things that, the intermediary routes and things like that, I feel like, Ryan, when he's playing his best, is in all those positions.
Another follow-up from Colin.
With kind of a couple of days off here,
Yep.
Have you been able to assess what you've seen from Wilkin at right guard, and what have you seen? I guess, how can he improve? Do you like that spot for him? What have you seen?
Yeah, I met with the O-line earlier this week and just talked about that a little bit because, for Wilkin, I think it's important. I made sure the room knows it too. Michael didn't move to tackle because Wilkin wasn't playing good at tackle. It was an overall move to help the right side, and it felt like Wilkin was playing great at tackle, I thought. And, so the move inside was more about Wilkin helping the interior of the offensive line. I think he's done a great job of that. He's a good communicator when you have a freshman next to you. Michael needs that communication and has done a good job listening to the older guys. So I really feel like he's done a great job, especially for a guy that hasn't played a ton of guard. And there's times where he's playing at a really, really high level.
Go back left.
Coach, something that Ryan Williams mentioned to us a couple of days ago is how a way they can help Ty is get lined up faster. Is that something that's been an issue in your eyes?
Say it again. What was the last part?
Ryan Williams said that
Just getting lined up quicker.
Yeah, getting lined up quicker. Has that been kind of a concern or an issue in your eyes?
It's always a concern. If I'm being honest, it wouldn't matter if they went Mach 4 to the line of scrimmage. It wouldn't be fast enough. I think if you're early to the test, you're helping yourself. Get up there, paint the picture for the center and the quarterback, have the threat of snapping the football at any second when we get up there. And that's really what it should look like on every play. And so we certainly have not been perfect at that. Today, I thought the guys did a better job of that, but there always has to be the threat of the offense snapping the football. And those were some of the big plays that we had against Oklahoma last time was, snapping the football early, waiting to snap the ball, and going back and forth. So our guys being able to execute that and put some pressure on the defense is a big part of what we do. So, yeah, I think, that just shows the ownership that Ryan, has in the offense and that he wants it to be great.
All right, let's finish up with Joe right here in the back row.
Yep.
Coach, staying with the offensive line questions, how important is it to get Cam Dewberry back into the lineup? And what have you seen from Parker Brailsford with his time off as far as his health and effectiveness?
Yeah, Parker looks a lot better. He was total warrior, man. I mean, the last couple weeks he was I can't believe he was out there, to be honest with you. I mean, he's a tough dude. So he looks way better. This time off has really, really helped him. He's been in that training room, relentless just with his pursuit of getting better. And then as far as having Cam back, I think Cam has the potential to be a big-time spark. I thought he was playing his best football right up to when he got injured, and really had built into a better part of the season for him. And so it was kind of tough seeing him go backwards there. But, everybody has injuries. That's, part of the game. And this point of the season, this late in the year, everybody's dealing with stuff. You bet.